What comes into your mind when you hear the word referencing? Hello there, learners. It's your Sir Lorje again, and for today's lesson, we will be dealing with APA style and referencing. And if you're interested with this topic, then finish this video until the end. Did you know that referencing has two essential parts: the citation and the reference list? Citation can be done within the text of a certain article, and the reference list is seen at the latter part of your paper. And also, the APA format is the most preferred format for the researchers in doing academic papers. Now, let's start first with the purpose of referencing. Now, the first purpose of referencing is that referencing aims to identify or cite other people's ideas and information used within your essay or research paper. Secondly, it also aims to indicate the sources of these citations in the reference list at the end of your paper. So citation is indeed vital in academic papers, within your essays, your term papers, your research projects, and any other assignments. But then again, we have to take credits to all the quotations, paraphrases, ideas, and images from someone else's work. Then by doing that, you must cite the original author or the source that surround the quoted materials with quotation marks. And always remember that copying any material and submitting it as your own is a form of plagiarism, and it is an academic offense. Therefore, as much as possible, we really have to avoid plagiarism in doing our papers. Alright, so whenever you use a quotation from an author or summarize or even paraphrase a person's ideas, you must also identify or cite the source. And this end-text citation is formatted with parentheses, and it must show the last name of the author or the authors, the first few words of the reference list if the author is not known. Do not forget as well with the year of publication, and then if the year is unknown, then you have to put ND or no date. And of course, the page number if available. So when you also incorporate a direct quotation into a sentence, you must also cite its source, just like this. So as you can see in the first statement, it started with the author's name. As you have seen, the year of publication is also being written there, but it is enclosed with a parenthesis, then followed by the quoted words of the author, including the page number. However, we can also do it this way. In the second examples you have seen, the author's name is enclosed within the parenthesis, but it is placed on the latter part of the sentence. Okay, so you can do either way. Now, in electronic sources such as website, commonly they have no page numbers. So we really cannot put a page number in the end-text citations. However, in PDFs, it normally shows original page numbers. So if the source has no page numbers but explicitly numbers the paragraphs, then you can include the paragraph number preceded by the abbreviation para, which means paragraph, in the citation parentheses. But if the document has no page or paragraph numbers, but it does have headings, then you have to use the headings. Okay? You have to use the headings of the section you are taking information from, and then you have to give the number of the paragraph under that particular information that contains the information that you are incorporating in your essay. So we have here an example. So this example includes the complete heading, fostering health security. Now, if you are unable to track down the original research report of a certain author cited by another author, then you may follow this example. In this sample, research done by Peters is discussed in a journal article written by Lee, but you really cannot track down the original research of Peters. So what you need to do is that you have to state the information needed but only include list article in your references list. Now let's proceed to creating a reference list. So in creating a reference list, you have to start the references list on a separate page at the end of your paper. Of course, it must be separated from your or from other chapters of your paper. Then you have only you only include those sources you have cited in your paper. And exceptions are personal communications, classical religious works such as Bible or the Quran, and any classical works. So these do not appear. Take note as well that you have to double space the entire references list, and you must not add any extra line after the title. And lastly, you have to organize the list in alphabetical order according to the first letter beginning each entry. And then you have to use initials for authors, and then their first and middle names. Now, using APA format is recommended by most researchers. Now, I will show you some examples on how to do APA style referencing using different sources. So if your reference is a book, then you have to follow these steps. The first thing to do is that you have to start with the author's last name, and then followed by his or her initials, and the year of publication must also be enclosed with a parenthesis. Then afterwards, you have to write the book title in an italicized format, and then include the book edition if available, and the place where the book has been published and the publisher himself. However, if there are 2 or more authors, then you just have to follow these examples. So moreover, if you have cited an article from a journal or periodicals, such as newspapers, magazines, or even newsletters, then you have to follow these rules. So just like the previous examples, it all started with the author's name. But if the author of an article is unknown, then you have to start with the title of the article and the year published. Then the journal name, and lastly is the page range. And if it is from a website, then you have to include the page or the website URL. Now, another way of doing a reference list using website as your source can also be done this way. If the author of an article is known, then write the author's name, the year of publication, if it is available, and then write ND if there is no date. Next would be the web page title, the date retrieved, and the website URL. So those are the referencing guide using APA format, which will help us researchers to be responsible on giving credits to the authors who have contributed a lot for the success of our academic paper. So if you have questions or clarifications with regards to APA citation or style, then you may comment your questions below. Once again, this is Sir J. Malnegro. See you in our next discussion. Bye!